Oh hey, it's Emily, and today I'm going to be doing another 5-star predictions video. So I've done one for my backlist, books for my backlist that I really feel like I'm going to enjoy. And in that video I describe why I've hesitated to do 5-star prediction videos thus far, and that is because I don't actually star rate my books, but I do feel like I can still check back in on these books and feel like whether or not I had a gut feeling that this was a really special book for me that I'm going to remember and want to reread, and I just have that feeling about it. I can at least tell that even if I don't star rate my books. And again, I can do a why I don't star rate my books video if that's something of interest. I can have an entire separate video about that. But that's not the point of this video. I also wanted to do, in addition to ones on my backlist, to make sure that I was getting to some books on my backlist that I'm really excited about. I also wanted to do some for 2021 releases, because I've been so focused on making sure that I am reading the books that I have, which is good, but there are also so many books coming out that I'm excited about, and if I never read new releases, then those just kind of continue to pile up year after year and eventually become part of my backlist. And sometimes you just want to read books and talk about books when they're coming out and when people are excited about them and when you're excited about them. And so I also want to encourage myself to include some new releases and not completely prohibit myself from enjoying new releases if that's what I want to read. So I wanted to have a separate 2021 releases versions of my 5-star predictions to see if I could encourage myself to do that. So without further ado, let's get started on this list. This list is mostly ones that have either already come out at this point or will be coming out relatively soon, because I didn't want to have this video spread out over the entire year and not be able to check back until way later. Who knows when I'll actually have read all of these and be able to check back in on them, but I at least wanted to make sure that they were already out or would come out soon so that I could maybe get to them faster. So the first book on this list is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I have loved both of the books that Angie Thomas has written, and they have all been just incredible reads for me that have really stuck with me, and she's become an auto-buy author even just after 2 books. And so I really feel like this is going to be a very special book for me. She's an incredible writer. She does character work incredibly well. And I'm also just have been interested in this character. So this is a prequel to The Hate U Give and follows Star's dad as he is a teenager or a young adult and realizes that he is going to become a father. And so I think it's going to be incredible. I'm very excited to get to this one. It's already come out at this point. I believe it came out in January. The next one I want to talk about is Shipped. I'm blanking on the author's name, but I will have a picture here. And this is actually a romance, and I don't read a ton of them, but this one has some elements that I think I'm really going to love. So this one is supposedly The Hating Game meets Unhoneymooners. I really had fun with The Unhoneymooners, and Hating Game is one that I'm very interested in reading. And it follows, I want to read this one in the summer, I think, because this one follows a couple of people who, I don't know if they actually work for the cruise liner that they are going to be going on, or if they work for a communication company that is doing advertisement work or something, or trying to promote this cruise line. Either way, they are both vying for promotion. They're both vying for a coveted spot at this company, and the 2 main characters, and they are going to be going on this cruise and writing a kind of promotion package as part of their attempt to get this promotion. And so they're kind of competing against each other and need to go on this cruise so that they can write this promotion package. So it's part you're on a cruise and you're on vacation, but also you have that extra element too of they're competing, and so they don't particularly like each other at first, but of course they're probably gonna fall in love. And I've heard that this one is just absolutely delightful and so much fun, and I feel like this is going to be a perfect just summer read when I need a quick fun romance that I can just get lost in, you know? So the next one I want to talk about is a sci-fi that's Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. And this one is supposed to be a sci-fi version of Red, White, and Royal Blue. Say No More, I'm interested. I absolutely adored Red, White, and Royal Blue, and if you can make that a sci-fi, I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm interested. And it follows, I believe, one person's, I don't know if they were supposed to be married. There was a marriage that was supposed to happen. One person died and the other person needs to find someone else to marry for political reasons, and there's a whole set of things that happen surrounding the death of that other person, and the main character trying to find someone else that they can marry, and the politics that's going on between these different worlds or between these different societies. I don't remember exactly, but romance, sci-fi worlds, political happenings, I'm there. The next one is also a sci-fi, and that is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And I absolutely adored The Martian. I did also read Artemis and had a fun time with it, but did not love it definitely as much as I loved The Martian. And I love his humor, I love his wit, I love the science in The Martian. I loved everything about The Martian, everything about it. And this one sounds like it's going to be more in the vein of The Martian. It follows, again, someone who is isolated in space and needs to find their way back to Earth. And I don't remember the exact circumstances, but it's a very similar premise to The Martian, so I'm hoping that it'll be closer to that than to the Artemis. I'm very excited, and ultimately I think this will kind of be one of the things that helps me figure out whether or not Andy Weir can be an auto-buy author for me, or one that I'm very, very interested in anything that he writes. This one will help determine that. So the final one that I want to mention is, I haven't actually mentioned a fantasy on this list, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a huge fantasy person, and none of these were fantasy, so I knew I had to put a fantasy on here somewhere. And one of the ones that has come on my radar ever since Daniel Green announced it is his novella, Breach of Peace. And of course I've heard some buzz about this. I follow Daniel and absolutely adore his videos, and the premise just sounds super interesting. It just seems like a really interesting, dark world where they're going to be kind of an industrial feeling world, and there are corrupt investigators and corrupt detectives, maybe a corrupt government, and a murder that has happened, and there are rebel forces, and these are all just elements that I tend to really enjoy, and I'm hyped, I'm pumped. And also Kate Redding and Michael Kramer do the audiobook. I've actually pre-ordered a Kindle version of this one, and I'm going to listen to the audiobook as well at some point. So I'm super excited for this one, and had to mention a fantasy. So there we go. Those are 5 2021 releases that I'm super excited for. And when I've read all these, I will come back and let you know what I thought and whether or not I got that 5-star feeling from them. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more bookish content and to see what I end up feeling about these books. I'll leave my Instagram and Twitter link down below. That's where I like to hang out. I will also leave more information about how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.